Hello dear chess friends, I'm International Master Andrey Ostrovskiy and you're welcome to the series of lessons dedicated to King and Pawn Endgames. In this one we're going to discuss a very important technique of shouldering. Let's have a look at this position and try to understand the main features. We can see that material is even and white's turn to move, so everything depends on how fast the king will be to grab black's pawn a7, because white's pawn a6 looks like a very dangerous passed pawn after that, which will be promoted. So let's have a look. Let us start with the most straightforward play. King goes to e7. What happens in this line? So the idea is easy. White wants to get the a7 pawn and just to grab it and promote a6-1. King goes to c3, king goes to d7, king goes to d4, king goes to c7, king goes to d5, king goes to b7, so white is very close to reach the goal. King goes to d6, king takes the pawn, but now king goes to c7, blockading the king, and white has no chance to make a progress. For example, after king a8, king goes to c8. Now, if king goes back to a7, then black's king also goes back to c7, and if a7, then king c7, and it is a stalemate. So this is a draw. Let's try to improve white's play here. For example, what if we change the route a bit and instead of king d7 play king to d6? In this case, king goes to d4, king goes to c6, and now correct move king to e5. Very nice one, gaining the so-called knight opposition, and white again can't make a progress because black is just in time. So king b7, king d6, king a7, king c7. This position we already saw. Let's try to change the situation a bit later. For example, after king d4 in the main line, instead of king c7, let's try king to d6, gaining the opposition. But again, instead of playing, for example, king to c4, which leads to king c6, king d4, king b7, and as we can see, black is not in time to blockade the king, because when white's king occupies a7 position, black's king should be already on c7. Here we can see this king is only at c6, which is enough for white's win. So king goes to b8 and pawn a6 promotes, no limits. So instead of that, after king d6, again, the same method of gaining the knight opposition with the king e4 helps black to hold the position. After king c6, king e5, king b7, king d6, everything goes to this position that we already discussed. So what to do with white? Actually, we can see that after king e7, it is not possible to improve white's play, so every try leads to a draw. Let's start with the initial position. So actually, we can improve the whole route starting from this very moment. So instead of getting to a7 pawn straightforwardly, white can move his king in a much more smart way. So king goes to e6, and after king c3, king goes to d5. And now we can notice the difference. So white combines two ideas. White definitely gets closer to the pawn, so white uses this route instead of using this straightforward route, but it appears much more efficient because here white combines two plans, so it is kind of multi-purpose maneuver. So in addition to getting to a7 pawn, white controls these squares c4 and d4, making black's king much more passive if compared to any other line that we already discussed, and that is the sense of shouldering. So we can see that white simply kicks opponent's king away from important squares, combining it with the main plan. The main plan is to get closer to a7 pawn, to grab it and to promote it. And now we can see that black simply has no chance to reach the main drawish position with the king on c7. For instance, if king goes to d3 here, then king c6, king d4, king b7, king c5, and king takes a7. This one we already saw, so the king reaches only c6 square, but after king b8, pawn is unstoppable, so it goes directly to a8 square. And if king goes to b4, the same. So king c6, king c4, king b7, king c5, king takes a7, only c6 square, but it is not enough to hold the position. King goes to b8, ensuring the promotion of the pawn. So after king d5, we can see black has no chances to save the game. And this describes the very important technique of the shouldering. So actually it is the example of the multi-purpose play in king and pawn endgames, multi-purpose maneuver of the king, so combining several plans. And it is very important to memorize it and to use it over the board. So to combine several ideas. The main plan, which is to grab opponent's pawn, and another plan is to limit the activity of the opponent's king, so to prevent opponents gaining the opposition and prevent opponent from winning the fight for key squares. Here we can see they are d4 and c4. And by the way, this route takes the same quantity of moves, so let's count: e6, d5, c6, and b7. They are 4 moves, right? And e7, d7, c7, b7, same 4 moves. So in the sense of time, it takes the same, but it is much more efficient maneuver because at the same time, with fighting for a7 pawn, white actually limits the activity of opponent's king, prevents opponent's counter chances, and ensures the win. Thanks a lot for your attention. See you in next lessons.